Hey, what's going on, guys? Joe here, coming at you today from Town Hall 10, and today we're going to do a little bit of a documentation of a previous attack and look at the Queen Charge LaLo for Town Hall 10 development purposes. This base was hit by a hog army to start us out, which basically identifies the clan castle troops being a dragon and ice golem and stuff. And so the army that was actually used to 3-star the base was 16 balloons. You got healers for the Queen Charge, and then you also have the Lava Hound, Stone Slammer, and there's earthquake spells for opening up the compartments. Now, we're going to watch the replay first, and then we're going to go back and look at the base again and point out why things were done the way they were done. That is a mouthful for you, but if you stick around, you might be able to understand how to apply it for yourself in your own clan wars. So we're starting out with the Barbarian King, and I think there's going to be a baby dragon. So we got a baby dragon over in the north, and it's going to start clearing out some buildings. And then you're going to see the Barbarian King dropped over by the Town Hall, and he's going to take on the Spell Factory and then the Dark Spell Factory. So he's clearing out buildings. And did I mention that this is an anti-3-star base design? That's what it is. We're in a league war. This was a league war match. So that's most of the style bases that are used. Queen's going to be dropped, and then the earthquake spells are going to be dropped. And you will notice that about 4 or 5 different compartments were opened up. And so this queen is going to work her way into an enemy Barbarian King. And so there's going to be healers dropped, and then a rage spell dropped to take on that king. And then she's going to work her way into a wizard tower and start taking on the entry point, which is the location where the earthquake spells were dropped. So she takes out 1 air defense, and then that draws the clan castle troops. So you're going to see the poison spell dropped, and then another rage spell to get this queen through the enemy queen engagement as well as the enemy dragon engagement. So naturally she's going to be frozen by the ice golem here in a moment. The Barbarian King, he went to sleep. He's no longer with us. He went night, and so that queen's going to take down the next air defense, work her way into an X-bow, and then she's going to work her way into a wizard tower. Stone Slammer's been dropped over in the eastern corner, and it's going to work its way into a wizard tower as well as an additional air defense, and that will leave us with only 1 air defense remaining on the far western side of the base. So that queen, her ability was used to get her through another engagement. And so now you'll notice that the LaLo portion has worked its way in. You got 2 lava hounds and balloons that went through a haste. They're going to all group up down in this location. And you will notice that all of our defenses are going to path our balloons up into the location where there's a sweeper facing the opposite way. Now, our queen is no longer with us. She also went night. And so our balloons are going to power through this location. We only have 1 more haste spell remaining, and that final air defense is still standing. Now, Yuki is holding on to a few balloons to sneak in on the back end to assist our balloons get through that final Inferno Tower. They're going to take down that final air defense, and then those balloons are going to work into the final cannon and archer tower. So again, back end cleanup is used with, minions are used over there to take out the final buildings that the balloons obviously will miss, and you got a few pups over there on the far western side. So from here, we're going to speed this up. That way you can see the army that was used, and if you really want to see the in-depth breakdown, stick around, guys. We're going to go through this base step by step. That way you can understand how to apply it for yourselves. Obviously, the clan castle troops play a huge role, but there's your army. Now let's get into the good stuff. Now for the good stuff. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the trash around the outside of the base. That way we can expose this base for what it really is. Now, since we're using a LaLo army, you're going to notice that the air defenses are mostly set off to the right side of the base, or up in the northeastern side of the base. You got 2 in this compartment or in this location, and 1 over in this compartment, and then you have another one that's on the opposite side of the base. So let's go ahead and split this base in half, and you will notice that we have a king and you have a queen on one side. You also have a clan castle there as well, and you have multi-target Inferno towers. So what happens here is if we open up this group of compartments, you're going to basically expose 3 of the air defenses as well as the queen as well as the clan castle troops. So we really have to get to this point, and we have to clear out multiple buildings in order to get there. Now I want to point your attention down to the southern side of the base, and you will notice that all of the defenses are going to basically form a little bit of a line for our balloons to path all the way through each other and come up on the back end of this air sweeper, leading up into the final Inferno Tower and that final air defense. Now that air defense could cause some issues, but if you have a large group of balloons on the back end of the attack, that air defense doesn't stand a chance. So again, now we're going to go play by play, and we have the baby dragon that's going to start clearing out buildings. Now this baby dragon is really only effective because this air defense is tucked in, and this baby dragon is going to be able to take out multiple buildings in the process. Already cleared one army camp, taking out a barracks, and now working on an additional barracks. Now also the Barbarian King has been dropped on the opposite side, and he is a tanky unit. He does well by himself, and he also has an ability to carry him through. So he's going to clear out multiple buildings, and he's setting up the funnel to cause this queen to go directly into the core of this base, and that's why the earthquake spells were dropped in this location. They do damage on multiple buildings, as well as opening up a nice wide gap for this queen to go in. So that queen, we know that she's about to lead into a Barbarian King. So healers are going to be dropped, and then the rage spell is going to be dropped to get this queen through this engagement. She cannot take on a king by herself, even with healers with her. At the same time, you got a Barbarian King that's going off in the eastern side, and his ability has to be used to clear out that Tesla farm location, which is huge, and it helps the balloons out quite a bit. So that queen's going to step in, and she's going to path into an air defense, and knowing that she's going into an enemy queen's location as well as clan castle troops, her ability will be reserved, but a rage spell is going to be dropped instead. I almost said her ability about got used. Anyways, so she's going to take on a second air defense, and this frees up quite a bit for the LaLo portion, especially taking down this expo and moving into an additional wizard tower. Stone Slammer is a great asset to use at Town Hall 10. It is a very powerful siege machine, and it moves directly in on a wizard tower and also down into an archer tower, while providing a great tank for our lava pups, and so, or the lava hounds. And those lava hounds are going to move in, and then a group of balloons are going to sneak in and take down that air defense. And so now you'll notice that this whole upper half of the base has been cleared out, which leaves this whole lower half of defenses for our balloons to go through and clear. And then we have 8 minions in our army composition to clear out the final building. So again, if you want to see it for yourself, those balloons are going to use haste spells to launch them up into these archer towers. The archer towers are going to fall, and we have one more haste spell remaining. So you have to diversify the spells that are used. You got, what, 2-3 rage spells that were used for the queen? I believe it was just 2. But anyways, you're reserving spots for rage spells, which is going to take away from your haste spells. And so the haste spells, you have to have a little bit of base remaining for the balloons, not a lot. So in this situation, we did not have a lot of coverage or a lot of area or ground to cover with the balloons. And so the balloons didn't really require a lot of haste spells. And that final haste spell got those balloons through that final engagement in the Inferno Tower and that final air defense. And again, we're back on cleanup. Yes, that was a lot. So hopefully that simplifies it for you a little bit. I'm not going to explain things with big terms and you know, confuse you guys. I want to try to simplify it for you a little bit and hope that it catches. So that's my explanation on this queen charge LaLo. I'm sure we'll have many more in the future, but this is just a starter video to get us started and hopefully help you guys out. This is me doing my best to help you suck less. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thanks for watching, guys.
Free for all.